Guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel Programming Knowledge. In today's Microsoft Excel tutorials video, we would be seeing that how can we create the drop-down lists in Microsoft Excel. Apart from that, we are also going to see that how these drop-down lists are going to be dependent on one another. Okay, so what is basically the drop-down list? We all know that there is a list available which has different options, and based upon our choice we can select any one of those options, and there are even some lists in which we can select multiple options. So today we are going to see that how can we create drop-down lists which enable us to select a single item or a single choice is available to us. Then we are going to see that how can we create dependent drop-down lists. Now, the concept of drop-down lists that are dependent on one another is pretty simple. It is exactly like when you go to some website or you are going to fill some form where you are asked to enter some data. Like if they ask that in which city you live, so first of all you gotta select from a list is in which country you live, and on the basis of that country, that particular city is selected. Okay, so I have an example for you for better understanding. Here you can see that in your sheet we have two countries, India and USA. In India there is a list of these cities of India. These are these 5 cities, and similarly for USA these are some cities that are available. Now what if I go to some website and I want to enter my country, and on the basis of that country I want to select my city. So I have created a drop-down list over here. You can see this small arrow sign. This denotes that actually a drop-down list is created over here. So we got to use it. So I just click on it and you can see there are two options of countries available, India and USA. So I'm going to select India. Then in the city block, there is, if I just click on this drop down list, these are all the cities that I have in my database, that is this data for India. So I want to select my city, so I have selected this Mumbai. So this is a dependent drop down list. This city drop down list is actually completely dependent on the drop down list of country for the data. How you can understand it? If we just change the country name from India to USA, then you can see that the city name has also changed. Then now instead of these cities of India, we have these cities of USA which was present in our database, like Washington DC, New York, San Francisco, Texas, etc. So I just select New York, and yes, that's valid. So this is actually the functionality of a dependent drop-down list, and it comes in handy when you gotta select the data based upon some criteria. So basically city is the list which we are mainly concerned with, and the criteria is this country list which is actually used to filter the records from the city. So this is what we are going to understand today, and we are going to create some kind of dependent drop-down lists. So let's move to our practice sheet. Here we have some data. If we look closely at it, we have names of fruits, that is apple, mango, bananas. Similarly, we have flowers, berries and vegetables. Now all these three directly contain some data, while as vegetables there is further bifurcation into leafy and roots. If we go for leafy, then there are 3 options available, which is the final data: spinach, coriander and mint. Similarly, as the roots are concerned, we have 3 final data: turnip, radish and carrot. So basically 3 lists are going to be created. One is for this bifurcation, this external bifurcation like fruits, flowers, berries, vegetables, etc. Then there would be another list which would help us to select this leafy or roots, and on the basis of that, from the second list we would be able to select spinach, coriander and mint. So total of 3 drop down lists have to be created. Let us understand its creation. So first of all, let us give it some kind of like names, like cat1, then I'm going to type cat2, and then I'm going to type in final. Alright, so in cat1 what we are going to have is this fruits, flowers, berries and vegetables. In cat2 we have apple, mango and bananas. That means the contents of these cat1 in the case of vegetables, it's going to be leafy or roots. So in the case of vegetables, we would be having that. In final, only for vegetables, we have this and this. Okay. So before the creation of the lists, one important thing that you got to keep in mind is all your data must be in the form of a named range. Now we have already covered the topic of named range in detail in our previous videos, but just for the revision purposes, I'm going to show it again, that how can you do with it, how can you go with it. You can just select them, the whole data like this. These three columns have equal kind of spaces, so I'm going to select them. Then go to this formulas tab. Here you have create from selection and just select this top row and click on OK. Now if you just go to this box, we have fruits, flowers and berries. These three have been selected. Similarly for the vegetables, there is another option. You got to select them, go to this cell name tab and type in vegetables. Press enter. Yes, now if you just see it, berries, flowers, fruits, vegetables. India and USA are from the previous one. Similarly, we're going to create for leafy and roots as well. So just type in as leafy, enter. For the roots, select the data, type in roots, enter. Now, okay, all of them are created. You got to first cross check it. Perfect. Now what we are going to do is first come to cat1. Now we're going to create a list first of all. Then how can we create it? Simple, go to this data tab. Here is this option of data validation. You got to click on it. Okay. Now in the first tab, that is settings, you got to select allow list. So this is a list would be created and it asks for a source. So in our cat1, all these headings are going to be our source. So just select these 4 headings simply and click on OK. Now you see this list is created. If you just click on it, these 4 headings are available. If you select just any one of them, then no change happens over here. The reason being that actually no lists exists now for cat2. So let's create a list for cat2. Just select this cell, go to data validation and again select a list. That's the simple procedure. Then go to source. Now instead of selecting the source data, we have to select the criteria which is present in cat1, because whatever the criteria would be selected in cat1, the result of cat2 would be changed according to that. So for that we have to use a formula. Now what is this formula? All you got to do is press an equal sign, because we know that all formulas in Excel start with an equal sign. Then type in a function known as indirect. Okay, then open the parenthesis and just select this cell M10. This is going to be a criteria, that's why we have selected this cell, and then you can close the parenthesis. This indirect function tells Microsoft Excel that actually whatever that is given over here is the name of the named range from which you got to take the data. That is why we have created the named range previously, and its name was exactly like the name of the headings. So if you just click on OK, then you can see that this list is created, and since vegetables was selected, we have 2 options, leafy and roots. Similarly, if you just select some other things like fruits, then there would be options like apple, mango and bananas. So we can just go with it, vegetables, and here would be leafy and roots available. Similarly for the final also, we got to create a list. Now the criteria would be this cell, that is N10. So go to data validation and here you got to select allow list. The source is going to be again the indirect function. Open the parenthesis. This is going to be a criteria. Close the parenthesis and press OK. So yep, if you just select on leafy, spinach, coriander, mint. If you select on roots, then turnip, radish and carrot. So that is how you can create dependent drop-down lists. And as you can see, it is pretty simple to create and it can be used in almost every place there, wherever there is some kind of category bifurcation and there is some criteria. So that is all about dependent drop down lists, and I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.